Book Bites.
Welcome back to Bookish Bites! She's going to keep that in. She's going to keep it in, and that's going to be the intro.
Well, you know this whole thing is going to be the intro.
I'm in a really giggly mood.
I think I
Well,
jump-started
good.
that.
We're
Welcome
never
back.
gonna get
We're
this.
so happy to have you. Tonight, we're discussing Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. And I have a lot to say, because there are a lot of damn pages.
Yeah. Good lord.
A lot of things happen.
There's so much. Talk about Snickers.
We have our blueberry lemon muffins. And we have our white grape juice.
Blueberry lemon muffins, courtesy of when Nesta was just watching Cassian lick his fingers
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
after eating them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because me too, girl.
Yeah.
Me too. I would.
Who would?
Yeah, I don't blame her.
Here's my thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Yeah.
You ready for my thing?
Yeah.
Here's my thing. We start this book, and obviously we finish Mist and Fury. We know how it ends. We
Mhm.
know what's going on.
Yeah.
But to start this book and be back in the spring court again,
Yes.
I'm so tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so tired of being in the spring court.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dang, I forgot we were doing this. I forgot we were doing this again. Because we have not had a book start yet where she's just where she belongs. Just
Yeah.
like with her people.
Mm-hmm.
And so to start the third book and it's like, tee-hee-hee, remember this?
Mm-hmm.
God, again? I'm over it. I'm over it.
At least she has, like, really good excuses to not have to, like, do anything with Tamlin.
Yeah.
Because that would have bothered me. If I had seen her
mm.
pretending in, like, a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
She said
I
that.
was
She
so
said that in the
worried.
last book. She was like, you better not kiss him.
Yeah.
She better not. She better
Uh-huh.
not kiss him. You better not even try to touch her.
Yeah. I was like, no touching. No
And at least
touching
I could
allowed.
give her, like, I could at least give Tamlin, like, that little bit of respect. Of,
Right.
Of respecting the boundaries of her saying, like, I need space.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't
She
want you
played
to...
that so. Ooh, she played that whole court
She
like
really
a
did.
fiddle. Oh, that was so
Literally, one of my
good.
first notes was Nesta. Feyre's particular brand of manipulation is sexy.
Yes.
And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
eating it up. I love it. I love to gaslight gatekeeping girl boss, and
Yeah.
she is winning.
Yeah.
I love it.
I would just like to say about this book that it shattered me.
Mhm.
Wow, did it shatter me.
Yeah.
And
Physical
like,
proof, too.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
no, yes. The way that it starts off so different from the ending,
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
that's what I'm
It,
saying.
like, spirals.
yeah,
Like, this is 3 books.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Uh-huh.
3 books.
I was so worried that Sarah was going to play the whole, like, I was so worried that through the majority of this book, she was going to be in the spring court trying to get out. I was so worried about that, but thank God she
It's so-
got out pretty
so
early.
little.
Yeah.
So
that was one of the
little.
first things I said when
Yeah.
I started this. I looked at Alanis and I was like,
Mhm.
do I have to deal with this for long? How
Yeah.
long are we here?
I'm so tired of Eternal Spring.
I'm so
Yeah.
tired of it. I'm so
Bring it
tired
back
of it.
to the night court.
Yeah,
No,
where are
literally.
the stars?
Where's
Where's Valeris?
Valeris? Where's the city of Starlight? I'm over this.
Mhm.
There aren't even roses anymore. I'm just irritated.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, the way she, like, shattered his court
Yeah.
into nothing.
okay.
Everybody
let's-
left.
Yeah.
The
Uh-huh.
freaking spring court, insane. That whole time, because we start, Ianthe comes and she's like, I'm so sorry for dragging your sisters to Hybern
Mm-hmm.
and making them be thrown in the cauldron. That
Mhm.
super sucks, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
that made me so mad. I hate her so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tamlin's like, yeah, thanks for the apology. Jurian's coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
more people that suck.
Mhm.
Wasn't that when Jurian brought the?
Dagden and Branna or something.
Yeah.
Whatever their
Also, the fact that
names were.
Tamlin was continuing to like be on Ianthe's side, like still trusting her, even though like there was clear evidence that he probably should not have.
Yeah.
He was like, she's my high priestess.
Mm-hmm.
They actually deserve each other.
Oh.
And the fact that that's
Mm.
not a route that was ever taken in this book is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That was set up. Let him have it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Make some terrible, terrible blonde babies. Go. Like, I don't
They
understand.
did not need to reproduce.
Oh.
Oh,
gosh.
Absolutely
okay.
not.
Actually, I do
No.
take it back. I said that out of anger, and I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
I love when Alice is talking to Feyre, and Feyre's still trying to like keep her like, oh no, like Rhys tricked me.
Mm-hmm.
He tricked me, and I didn't even want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even want it. And Alice is like, oh yes, of course, sweetie, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But then she said, and I quote, "They say you came back different, came back wrong. I never bothered to tell them. I think you came back right at last."
That was so good.
I literally cried when I read that because Feyre continues on to be like, "Oh, haha, so nice of you.
Mm-hmm.
They were bad to me," and like, because she has a point to play. Like she has, like what was I saying? She has a role to play, right? Like she has a point to drive home. So I get it. But Alice, like, same thing from book one. Like Alice was always different. Alice was always like more real with her than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she's just like, well, I think you came back right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I think I'm gonna kiss you on your forehead.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that, Alice?
I think it deserves a kiss on the lips.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I do
no,
it.
literally.
No sweat from me. I
Yeah.
got it. I'll do it.
I love that she always saw right through Feyre.
Yeah.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
And she was always there to help her too.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
When she started manipulating Tamlin with Lucian,
And like flirting with Lucian.
Oh my god, yes.
She was so, oh my gosh, the way that she was so detailed about like whenever it was like after they had some kind of celebration. I can't remember what it was. She went back to her room and
was the
then
summer
she had a
solstice.
nightmare and she went to Lucian and
Yes.
timed it
Yes.
perfectly
Yes.
to where she knew, because she was like all flirty with Tam Tam earlier, so she knew Tamlin was
Mhm.
going to try and come to her room to finally like, you know, like
Like,
get something going on.
You ready to do some things?
Yeah, and so she timed it perfectly where she went to Lucian's room and was all like, "Oh, I had a nightmare," and then he was sleeping, so he's shirtless and he's all like flustered and it's like, "Oh my gosh, like what's going on?" And then she like went in and like hugged him and they just
And he's
were that
holding her
way.
and comforting her.
And then they like both broke back and just like were staring at each other. And like at that moment,
Tamlin
Tamlin walked in. And then she said that she had warded the room to where Lucian would not be able to hear Tamlin's footsteps. So that,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
She timed it perfectly
manipulative.
to where Lucian would have no
Methodical.
idea. So
Yeah.
they would be like caught, even though they didn't do
It
anything.
does
She
make
was
me-
surgical with it.
Mhm.
Like,
It does make me feel a little bad for Lucian. Because she like really played him.
She did.
Like she used him
Yeah.
she did
to
use
get
him.
to Tamlin. But I mean for a greater cause, and then
Mm-hmm.
ultimately Lucian
He was
sees-
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did kind of feel bad for him because I'm like, how awkward is it? Because he had nothing to do with this. He
Mhm.
genuinely had nothing to do with
He was
this.
like, a girl came in crying. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry, bro.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, bro.
Uh-huh.
And then he was like, I'll talk to you later. About what, dog?
Literally.
About what? She went into his room.
Uh-huh.
What do you mean? And then the second time after they like went out to search the wall with everyone the first time, and it was just her and Lucian that went with them, and then she has Dagden and Branna, right? That's
Mhm.
their names?
Yeah.
I can't remember. But she has them attacked by the Boggy because of the Children of the Blessed thing.
yeah.
Whenever she like got
Yeah.
the Children of the Blessed to leave,
Mhm.
and then they still went out and found them, and she was so mad, and so she had the Boggy attack them, and they came back, and Tamlin was like, why would you do this? Like, we're trying to keep Hybern on our side. Like, why would you behave like this? And she was just letting him have it full tilt, no filter. And she knew, she could see it. She was like, he's about to blow up. It's about to happen. And so she didn't shield herself. She made sure that the, why can't I never think what they call them? The servants or like the guards. But they call them something.
Oh my gosh,
I just read it.
I know exactly.
Sentries?
Sentries!
Mm-hmm.
10 points to Haley.
Thank
But yeah, like she knew that the sentries were right there.
Uh-huh.
And so she like didn't shield herself. And so then whenever he like unleashed and she had the blood dripping down her face and everyone ran in and she just was playing that like perfect card of like no, I'm fine. I'm sorry, Tamlin. Like, it's fine. I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was just like,
Yeah.
And then left him with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
oh.
Absolutely nothing. The spring court was in shambles.
Because
by the time she left.
I mean, because she just did so many little things. It was like those two things to Tamlin to like get all the sentries like,
Right.
what's going on? And then like whenever she would flirt with Lucian in front of Ianthe, and she would get like irritated.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever they went out to the wall the last time, and shit absolutely hit the fan.
Yep.
Don't forget how she played Ianthe with that one guard
Oh,
who got
with
caught.
the sentry
Yeah.
that she framed
Mm-hmm. And she had like the evidence was right there.
right there.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "You're really gonna believe the word of a sentry over your high priestess?" And Tamlin was like, "Gotta do what I gotta do."
What do you mean?
Like, he was always for the people. Like,
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
for his sentries. He was for the people.
Mm-hmm.
And then now he's like, I gotta prove a point to Hybern. And Ianthe knew it. Like, she knew
Right.
that's what he was gonna do. And he did. And he literally beat the poor guy.
Yeah. Terrible.
But then she smashed Ianthe's hands to bits.
I loved that part.
Love that.
That
Because
was
she
so
tried to
good.
touch freaking Lucian.
Yeah.
Girl,
Gosh.
you're lucky you didn't get worse.
Literally.
The way she played it off so well too.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
When she laid it into her.
Yeah.
Because she walked up, because she wasn't even going to do anything to, like, Hybern's people. She wasn't going to do
No.
anything to them. She was going to leave them be.
Mm-hmm.
But they had to intervene.
Mm-hmm. They were like, "Where you going?"
Yeah.
I'm trying to leave. I'm trying
I'm
to get back to
literally
my
exiting.
night court.
And the thing is, what is she to them? Like,
Yeah.
what if you actually just left her alone?
Mhm.
Wouldn't that be
Tamlin
so
was going to let her
crazy?
use her powers.
Yeah.
Because he was still so against anything that happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I remember. I think the king wanted Feyre for some reason, and I don't know if it was to get to Nesta. I'm pretty sure it was.
Oh, yeah. They talk about that later because she took a part of the cauldron.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I need her back for the cauldron.
Did they also say they needed the Book of Breathings? Like the second piece?
I think so.
Well, because they still had the whole book, didn't they? Yeah,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
Amryn still had it.
Yeah.
But when she looks at Ianthe after she makes her bust her own hand, she says, "You will never touch another person against their will. You will never convince yourself that they truly want your advances, that they're playing games. You will never know another's touch unless they initiate, unless it's desired by both sides." And then the last thing she says to her, is, this gave me chills. "And I hope you live a long, long life, Ianthe, and never know a moment's peace."
Yeah.
I want that tattooed on my forehead.
Yeah.
I want that tattooed on my forehead.
Yeah.
Never. I hope you live a long life and never know a moment's peace. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You deserve
Oh,
it.
it's so good.
Mm-hmm. I love that part.
But so then, she kills Hybern's niece and nephew, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They're dead, like fully dead, aren't
Because
they?
I think, didn't they find out what she did? And she was
Yeah.
like, basically, like, you have to die.
Yeah.
Right, because they also put like the Faebane in all of her food and stuff. Remember?
Right.
That's
So her
yeah.
powers were
right.
diminished.
That's
And
right.
Lucian's.
Yeah.
Or they were diminishing. She got to like I think kill them right before.
Right. And then she was like, "I'm leaving." Lucian was like, "I'm coming with you."
Mhm.
She said, "No, you're not." He said, "Yes, I am."
She said, "Are you sure
Oh,
about
because that's when
that?"
she started running through the courts, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
right. Because she went through Autumn Court.
Dude.
Yeah, they went through that little secret
The caves
caves.
that like lead to the other courts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they meet his brothers.
Twice. I forgot. They see them twice. Once when they're in the cave,
Mm-hmm.
and so then they're able to use like basically the last of their power to like set fire like in the cave to like try to stop them, and then Lucian makes like the rocks tumble and block them from getting out.
Yeah.
And they knew it wasn't going to be permanent, but they were hoping they could like at least make like a decent bit of headway
Right.
getting back. And then that didn't quite work out.
Yeah.
But when Cass and Haz show up
Oh, I love that part.
to save them,
Yeah.
to save them.
Oh, wait, she says. Wait, she says. A shadow slammed into the earth before us. Cassian, I suggest you drop my lady.
I swear to you, I could have ripped this book in half the hard way. When he said, "I suggest you drop my lady."
And then she said, I am High Lady of the Night Court.
Wait.
Okay.
She said, and what of it? Oh my
Oh.
gosh. That was insane. And also the fact that they let all of them live. They didn't kill
Yeah.
Yeah.
any of the brothers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But unfortunately, they're like the royalty. You know,
I guess.
they're part of the. Like,
You can't kill royals.
You
It's
can
not like a-
Wyvern.
It's not like
You
a
Yeah.
rule.
can't kill. You can't kill like
It's not like a rule.
Prithian
Yeah,
royals.
like,
Right.
kill royals.
True. That
Because
would
they'll like
start.
upset their families.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess.
Which is weird because it didn't stop them from trying to kill Lucian.
Literally.
That. As long as it's within the family. They can kill it's
Oh
fine.
my god.
That's so stupid. So then, we make it back. Where are we?
I just love looking down and seeing Reese.
Me too, girl.
That-
Honestly. He looks
that.
The way you
good.
pronounce it.
She always.
I would just be like,
She's like, he looks so.
he just looks so good. He's real. He's not fake.
So, he's actually real.
He's actually real.
Actually, he's real. I talk to him sometimes.
He's my boyfriend.
He's my boyfriend. My husband knows it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
You sure with that?
Yeah.
Here's the problem.
Oh, he gets
Jor-
it.
Jordan's also reading the books. He's also
Yeah,
Jordan's
true.
boyfriend.
No, yeah, he's also Jordan's book boyfriend.
I love it.
What a nice family you guys would make.
Honestly, we would. It'd work. It'd work.
I'm really not seeing why I wouldn't.
Me either.
Haley said Jordan and Reese. Sounds
What
good
else?
to
Best
me.
of both worlds.
some- best
She
of
said,
both
Sounds
worlds.
good to me.
That's fine with me.
Oh my god. But so then they do finally make it back to Valeris. And
Mhm.
little Lucian, whenever he's like so amazed by this place.
Yeah.
And one of the first things he says is there are children playing in the street.
Oh.
And he's just in absolute awe.
Yeah.
It killed me.
Yeah.
Because, like, they haven't seen, like, anybody just with pure joy.
Yeah.
And the people of Valeris are just, like, happy.
Mhm.
And not that they've been completely scot-free, right? Like, the Ator attacked
Mhm.
Yeah.
in the last book. And, like, they have to rebuild. There's, like, so much devastation
Right.
because of the Hybern attack. But, they feel safe.
Yeah.
And, like, nobody feels safe anywhere anymore.
Mhm.
Right.
Kill me. Oh, and then she goes and sees the girls. And Nesta.
Mm.
Is Nesta.
Yeah.
Like, there's...
Yeah, no
And-
other way to explain it.
The way that Elaine scared me so much, she was like acting so weird.
Yeah.
Like, because we didn't know at that point she was a seer, so she was just saying these crazy things and like
Yeah.
just looking so depressed out the window. I was
Yeah.
like,
She's like dead inside.
what's gonna
Like,
happen to
she
her?
wasn't-
I thought that
eating,
it would
she-
rock Nesta's world harder than it rocked
Yeah.
Elaine's. Because Elaine never really had like a specific like feeling about the Fae. Like she just kind of
Mhm.
Right.
was like, oh, like whatever. Like, I don't have any sort of sway
Mhm.
one way or another. But Nesta was hardcore set on like, I hate the Fae.
Yeah.
And so like whenever she became Fae, I thought that she would, obviously she is mad about it, but I thought she would be the one to like shut down and
Yeah.
like not like talk or anything, but like then it turned into being Elaine, and I was like,
Mhm.
so weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect that.
It frustrated me a little bit because, like, okay, I totally get that you're upset. Like, you were taken against your will and you were turned into a fae, and you have no idea what this means for you in your life, except for the fact that there's no way your fiance is going to want to marry you
Oh,
anymore.
for sure,
Mhm.
for sure.
I get it. That is
Right.
devastating.
Yeah.
But to just completely, like, close yourself in and
Mhm.
just sulk,
Mm-hmm.
people like that just irk me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Elaine, I'm gonna need you to put your big
Mhm.
girl panties on at some point, baby doll.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At some point.
Oh no, I'm immortal now. I'm even more beautiful than I was before.
And I'm powerful.
And I have powers.
I'm stronger.
Oh my
I'm
god, the
living in
way
a
she
beautiful
explained that she
city.
thought that Elaine was so beautiful and perfect before she was Fae, and then when she turned Fae, she was even more beautiful and perfect.
Literally.
And I was like, how? How?
Yeah.
The way they are driving home this, like, Elaine is the most beautiful person
Right.
I've ever seen. And I'm
Mhm.
like,
Mm.
no.
Somehow I like doubt that.
I'm
Yeah.
just not buying it.
And like this, the whole reason, like she, like a big reason of why she's depressed is because of Grayson. And I'm like, girl, you've known this little boy for how long?
Oh,
His daddy just wants your money.
Yeah.
Grayson probably doesn't. She said a line that was like, Lucian was like talking to her,
whenever Feyre went inside Lucian's mind.
and she was like, Grayson was the only one who got me, or something like that. And I was like, girl, I highly
Yeah,
doubt that.
That was because Lucian, she said, because they set Lucian up in the House of Wind when the girls were still there.
Mhm.
And she said, I can hear your heart beating. At night, I can hear your heart beating.
Mhm.
Can you hear mine? And he was like, no, my lady, I can't hear it. And she was like, no one ever hears me. No one ever sees me. No one ever gets me. The only person who ever got me was Grayson. And I'm like, I just so doubt that.
Yeah.
I just so doubt it.
I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt of like, okay, you're a seer, which they didn't know at that point.
Yeah.
So she's
Right.
probably hearing and seeing things that like she's not used to, on top of already having to adjust being Fae.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there is like a line to draw with it of like, okay, if you don't know how to navigate these things, you have so many people in this house that will literally help you.
Yeah.
It's an entire court of people.
Your sisters, for example, the ones who have always taken care of you, at least
Mhm.
Feyre,
I
and she was besties with Nesta because they
Yeah.
always said
yeah.
Feyre had always said that Elaine and Nesta were like always hand in hand, like they were
Yeah.
always best friends.
And they should see like how well Feyre has adjusted and how
Right.
much like Feyre loves this place. Granted, like Feyre had like a better connection with the Fae than they did and was
Right.
like a lot more open minded. However, they see how like powerful Feyre is
Right.
now. So
and that she'd protect them.
Yeah.
And Rhys would protect them,
mhm.
and she speaks for Rhys. Like he's such an amazing man, and they all see it. And then for them to be like, and also, they're not the ones who turned them Fae.
Yeah.
And
Like,
this,
it's not
this
their
was
fault.
Not our
No.
fault.
Yeah.
This was not our fault.
Nope.
So
I'm like so sorry. I'm like super sorry
Mhm.
that you get to like be young forever. Like that
Mhm.
like super sucks.
So sorry.
But I didn't do it.
No.
She was devastated on their behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
They both irk me.
Yeah.
So then what? They go see the bone carver to see if they'll aid in the war.
Mm-hmm.
And that's whenever Feyre has the realization of who the bone carver
Yep.
looks
Yeah.
like to her.
I thought it was gonna be baby Rhys. I didn't realize it was gonna be
Their
Reese's baby.
No,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
I wanted that to be slightly more climactic. I don't know. Like, I think it's cool that it was their kid. Like, I
Mhm.
think it's neat.
Right.
But I don't know. Like, it was so built up for me from the last book where I was like, oh my god, what is she seeing? This is crazy. Like, who is it gonna be? Like,
Right.
then she was like, oh, it's Reese's eyes in my mouth. Must be our kid. And I was like, okay.
That was it.
Okay.
Okay.
I like waited a whole book for that. But
See, that's another reason I was so mad at Sarah because of that. I was like, okay, so they're gonna live. They're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. Nothing bad is gonna happen
Oh yeah.
until the end,
Yep.
and then it was fine. But that's I think another
jump
reason.
scare.
Jump scare to the max because I was so sure. I was like, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. And then Reese is just like, and I'm like, what about their baby?
She said, no.
But then
The
he's like,
bone carver said.
but then he's like, just kidding, I'm fine.
God.
I'm
But so then they go to the Hume City to go try to like be like, hey, Kier, wanna help in the
Oh,
war?
and they have to make the
And also like, can I have
bargain.
like also like, could I have the mirror? And he's like, haha, you can have the mirror if you dare. And I'm like,
You're gonna handle
okay,
it.
ye of 3 riddles. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
calm down. Are you a troll under a bridge? Anyway, then when Eris showed up,
Oh,
I was so mad for more. I was so
The
mad.
way that guy keeps coming around.
yeah, like stay home.
And the thing is, you get it from Reese's perspective once he explains it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you couldn't have like let a hoe know?
No,
Right,
literally, like let her know.
She's already going to the Hume City where she doesn't like to go. She
Mhm.
hates it. She has to sit in a meeting with her father, which is terrible. And then you bring in her ex-lover who betrayed her.
Let her sit and die.
He's like, let's see how much more can take.
Yeah. And the fact that he only wanted access to Valeris to get under more skin.
Yeah.
And you know it.
And Yeah.
Because Kier is awful.
And
he was like, what if I just invade her one safe space?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be so hee-hee funny?
For
It's
what?
like it's like that like overbearing father vibe of like you can't have anything that's your own. Like everything that you have is mine.
Like he just has to be that gentle reminder of like, hey, I still like have this power over you. I still have this control over you. Like, hey, don't forget. Don't forget. Don't forget. I hate it specifically.
Yeah.
So they go to the bone carver. And then they go to the Hume City. They try to get the mirror.
And they can't.
Yeah.
And then they go to the library.
To pray access.
Oh, yes.
But that's where we figure out, like, for sure that Elaine's a seer for the first time.
Yeah.
Because before they go is whenever she says, twin ravens are coming. One white and one black. And I'm like,
girl, what you talking about?
who is she talking to? Huh? And they were so convinced. They're like, dang, she's gone mad. Call the healer. Like, they were so convinced. They're like, dang, that sucks. She's lost it.
And then the healer comes in there, they're like,
The
she's
healer's like,
totally
it's
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
And Nesta's like, get another healer. Get another healer. I'm like, y'all are so convinced that this poor girl's gone crazy. That's so rude. I'm like, that's so rude. And then the healer's like, no, she's fine. And she just like keeps dropping little prophecies. Because the first one she made was about like, I can hear her crying. She's so far away, but she's a queen, like a queen of fire. And they were all like, to whom is she referring? What? And everybody blew that one off entirely. And then she made the comment about the twin ravens, and they were like, she's lost it. There's no hope.
Yeah.
But then when her and Nesta go, when Feyre and Nesta go to the library, and the two of Hybern's ravens show up,
I was like,
I literally was like, do you see what she did?
yeah.
She's prophesying. Okay? Can we give Elaine some credit back?
Also, how rude of them to just attack Valeris like that. Like,
but specifically, that was when they were trying to get Nesta, right? Wasn't that specifically when they were... Because it was just the two of them. It wasn't like they, like, fully attacked Valeris.
that wasn't
It was
the
just
attack
the
on
two of-
Valeris?
No.
Was that the second book?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh.
When the Ator came.
Yeah.
Why did I think that?
I mean, they did attack
This
Valeris, but it's not
whole
whole
book,
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So were they just trying to get Nesta?
I think so. That's what they had said because they came down and they were following Feyre and Nesta. And, they made, like, a couple comments about, like, the cauldron. And so they were like, she took something from the cauldron.
Mhm.
And so I think they were trying to get Nesta back.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because they broke through the wards, and Reese was super pissed
He was like,
as
not
to
loving
why
that.
they broke
I
through
mean,
the wards.
who could blame them?
Yeah.
I don't think I'd love that either.
Oh my gosh, the part where that's when Nesta like ran to Cassian,
She ran straight to that man.
Yeah.
like
when
arms
they
open
showed up.
wide.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I was like, because up until that point, she barely acknowledged him. He was like, come
Mhm.
train with me, come train with me. And she was like, what if you were further away from me at all times? Had you considered doing that? But then as soon as he's there to rescue her, she's like, oh, save me. I'm like, hurt. I get what you're doing, girly pop.
Yeah.
I get it.
What was that look?
I just was looking at my notes at the part where so the Ravens were about to like get Feyre and Nesta, and then Cassian comes in to save them, and then finally Reese comes
Mm.
and is like, "Yo, Bryaxis, let me end this. Like, let me have," because Bryaxis is already like torturing the
Literally
Ravens.
chewing them up.
Yeah, and Reese was like, "It's my turn." And so I highlighted whenever Feyre was like talking about it happening, and then she said, "Just as the screaming began anew," when Reese was
Reese
torturing
went in
them,
and he
and
was
then
like,
straight
"How
up
about-"
killed those guys.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, Reese is gonna torture them."
No, that was so good. Where is...
I just love like the action bits.
Oh,
They really get me.
yeah, me too.
It's
I
just
love
like
a good
the go
action.
go go. Just like
Mm-hmm.
what's happening next? Like I
Yes.
just need to keep flipping through and see.
This book is so much action.
It does. Yeah.
There's
I mean-
something...
Wings and ruin.
Oh yeah.
It
Lots
is
of
literally all...
ruin.
It's literally all ruined.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it?
And a lot of ruined wings.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I think I found it. Yeah. When Feyre starts trying to, like, bargain with Bryaxis
Mhm.
the first time, to be like, please kill them. Please let me live, and I'll give you
Mhm.
whatever you want. She says, what is your price? This big, scary monster that Cassin literally cracked the bed over, right? Like, won't even
Mhm.
tell people what it looked like. Says, company. Send me company. And she says, to eat? And he says, to tell me of life.
That
These terrifying monsters are my babies.
mhm.
I want to mother them. Because the Suriel that everyone's terrified of, that's just like, give him a jacket and he'll tell you whatever you want.
Mhm.
And now this big, terrifying monster.
Okay, but also
It's like,
that big
tell me
monster
why.
isn't even like trapped down there.
Yeah.
Like he is like willingly
He like
in
stays
that
there.
area. Like he
Uh-huh.
could say, "I want to leave," but he
No.
could leave.
Same with the bone carver. She was like, Feyre was like, I can give you a new home, and he's like, this is my home.
This is,
Yeah.
I'm
Same with
safe here.
Bryaxis. He was like, I like
Yeah,
it here. I just want
Because
company.
then when she makes the second bargain with Bryaxis to be like, fight for us.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I'll let you out of here. Because she was thinking she would do like the Amryn thing, right? And be like, I can put you in like a Fey
Yeah.
body and like it'll
Right.
probably damper your powers, but then you can be out, you can know people. And they're like, no, this is my home. I can't remember exactly what he said. I'll find it eventually. But he says something to the effect of, I just want to see the stars.
Yeah,
So they put in a window.
Yep.
that was.
They wanted a friend and a
Mhm.
window.
Yep.
And then I'll fight all your battles.
Mm-hmm. And the trust that they had to have, like, in Bryaxis, and the fact that they gave them that trust, like,
I could sob over
Yeah.
these
I love
little babies.
yeah.
They're these big, horrible, like death demon god things that no one knows
Yeah.
what they are.
Yeah.
And they're like, could I have a friend?
Mm-hmm.
Just
Oh,
come
literally?
talk to me.
Oh, literally?
I want to hear of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
It's like your own
Are
personal
you
therapist.
kidding me? Oh my gosh. Like Sarah Sarah really was like, do you feel bad for all the people that you've judged for being scary? Because
Mhm.
if you don't, I'll make sure that you do.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure that you feel bad.
Oh my god, like the Weaver.
Yeah.
The fact that she actually like ends up fighting for their side.
Mhm.
And I'm like, this This scary woman
This
who
terrifying
literally tried to rip Feyre apart.
Mm-hmm.
rip
What?
her apart. And you
Ain't
know
I
what?
Anthe?
Feyre was stealing from her.
Mm-hmm.
Feyre was robbing her.
Yeah.
Why
Mhm.
wouldn't she rip her apart?
Mm-hmm.
Go off, queen. She was in her house.
Yep.
I get it. I killed the bugs that come in my house.
Yeah.
Squash that bitch. Like, I get it.
Oh my gosh. And then the whole deal with, maybe this is what I was thinking of, because I know there was some other like type of attack.
Adriana?
Yeah. Whenever Hybern's soldiers
Right.
attack Adriata.
Mm.
And then Rhys thinks that Hybern's there and that he's going to go and just like end it there. And he's not even there.
That whole thing felt so boring to me. I was so excited. Like, I was
Mhm.
like, fight,
Oh,
war,
yes.
let's go.
I get that.
And
yeah.
then, like, literally nothing happened.
Yeah.
Mhm. I hated all these little battles that like Hybern was just throwing at them to tire them.
And I
I was
get
like-
it, like, good method.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I get
But also so annoying. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
But then the fact that Tarquin was still such a pain
Yeah.
after they came and literally fought his battle.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No one else showed up. No one else was
Yep.
there. They came and fought his battle. And he was
Mhm.
like, oh, it's literally right here. He said, I thought you came to finish the job. Grow up. Grow up. What do you... I thought you came to finish the job. Shut up.
And then he's like, "You gonna steal something else?"
you want to take someone else?
Yeah. I was like, Tarquin.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And then the fact that Feyre, ooh, when Feyre was like, ooh, wait, I gotta find it.
This part.
Yeah, they just have to say your expressions.
Oh, that part, yeah. She says she gives him some kind of command of some sort.
Yeah.
Where she's like,
She just says, come to the meeting. Is that what you're talking about?
she says something about his people.
About his people?
I thought I highlighted it. Oh, maybe it's here.
Oh my god, whenever he was like,
Oh, maybe it was. Oh, yeah. So come to the meeting, Tarquin. We need you. Prythene needs you. I thought she said something else. Like,
well, whenever they were talking before, and he's like, I thought you were coming to finish this off, and they're like, we're not allying with Hybern, and he was
Mhm.
like, I'm talking to Feyre, because
Yeah.
Mor responded. I was like, okay, first of all, watch your tone,
literally.
firstly, and then
That's so rude. Like,
he says, why, and Feyre just says, our dreams are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Loved that line. Super good for me. But then he starts talking about what she did to Tamlin and how like the Spring Court turned against him. And he says, when you went into the Spring Court and deceived Tamlin as well about your true nature, when you destroyed his territory, you left the door open for Hybern. They docked in his harbors. It was an easy trip to my doorstep. You did this.
he already
Mhm.
agreed to side with Hybern.
Tamlin
Yeah.
literally told him that from the beginning. That was the whole reason they were
Yeah.
helping Tamlin find Feyre.
Right.
Was because he was like, you can use my Spring Court. But this is Feyre's fault? This is...
But also,
And my note
like,
was literally, oh my god, shut up.
he also
Yeah.
has to know the reason why they stole it from him.
Like, I
understand the whole point of like, do you really think that you would have let them have it if they just asked?
I get that he's, like, so pissed.
Yeah.
He's, like, so mad. Look at what they had to do.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what they were up against.
Mhm.
Look at what Hybern is continuing to do. He attacked you today.
This
Yeah.
and this battle, not even the biggest part.
No.
Mhm.
Like, it's like
Because this
so
is
small.
Because this is
Yeah.
after he's already called the meeting of the High Lords, and like people haven't really responded yet,
Right.
but they've obviously received notice.
Right.
And I'm like, he knows that there's going to be a war.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry that I took your half a book.
Yeah.
Your half of a book.
Mm-hmm.
Were you gonna read it?
The part that I highlighted is whenever he was like, "Get out," and then
When he says take your mate and leave,
yeah,
and
and
I'd
then
suggest warning her not to give High Lords orders.
yeah, and then Rhys says, "Oh my gosh, I literally just lost it. What the heck?"
It was right there after he says get out. What was that same part?
I lost it in my highlights. But yeah. She is High Lady of the Night Court. She may do as she wishes.
And
I
then
was like,
Tarquin says,
yeah.
"You do love to spit on tradition."
But
Mhm.
Screw a tradition.
Yeah.
what do you
I'm
mean?
500 years old.
Yeah, but what do you mean tradition? A high lady?
Yeah, because like there hasn't been high ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you're talking about tradition, high lady is a tradition. It just hasn't been
It
practiced.
just hasn't been
Mm-hmm.
practiced. Tarquin, are you so sad that you're single? Are
Yeah.
you so sad?
Are you so sad you couldn't have Feyre?
Oh, it's so
Oh
sad.
no.
So sad. I'm so
She
proud of her.
suckered up to him.
Yeah.
And now he's by her that she didn't pick him.
I cannot. And then they stay there, right? Because like they're in the Illyrian war camp there.
Right.
After they like brought their soldiers to help Tarquin, and they tell him like we're going to be staying here, and so they continue to go out and fight. And Cassian is literally doing his damnedest
Mm-hmm.
and getting torn up. And then this is the first time like that Nesta's actually talking about Cassian. She's like, "Where is he?" And Rhys is like, "Who?" And she says, "Cassian." And Moore kind of just like looks at her, and I was like, "Okay."
Mm-hmm.
And then Moore says, "When he gets back, keep your forked tongue between your teeth."
Also, okay, what?
What is
I
Moore's
would like
angle?
to. I
Yeah.
would literally like to know because
Because she continues with
we
the
know
attitude.
we know her
Mhm.
background,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
With Eris, and then like
And Azrael found her, and then
yes.
she was with him and Cassian.
Yes.
And, like,
Mm-hmm.
and she slept with Cassian to kind of throw Azrael off her scent.
right.
Because she was like, "This is not for me." And she knew that like it could be casual with Cassian.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff, right? So her and Cass are like good friends. They're not the ones with like the crazy
Right.
Yeah.
tension. It's her and Az.
And we later find that out whenever, because I was like, before I knew that she was gay, like, I was so worried this whole time that she was going to end up falling back in love with Cassian. Like, not that she ever fell in love with him, but
yeah,
that she was
yeah,
going to
yeah.
fall in love with Cassian.
Yeah.
And she was getting jealous of Nesta. And I was like, this better not be some nasty triangle where we have to deal with, like, Cass choosing between the two of them. I was like, I'm
Right.
not here for that.
No.
But then, thank God, it wasn't. But yeah, now that makes me wonder
maybe
why.
she's just being the protective best friend.
Maybe,
Maybe.
yeah.
But like,
Because it did.
Cass
I
is
grew
for
very
it.
tired of it.
I literally.
Because Moore was pissing me off.
Because
with
she,
Yeah.
how
she
much
does it
did
a
that.
couple times. And I was so irritated. And because like nothing crazy was even happening between
Like
the
she's
two
just
of them.
talking to Cassian, and she's like, "You better watch your tone with the way you're
Yeah.
talking to him." I'm like,
What?
Right.
I literally said jealousy is a disease, bitch.
Mhm.
But like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm assuming it's like the friendship thing, right? Like she's just trying to be protective of her friend because she can sense that like
right,
something is off with Nesta. This is weird,
right.
and she like doesn't want Cass hurt, which is like sweet, great, and fine. I just don't get the angle.
Yeah.
You think that's actually gonna deter Nesta,
Mm-hmm.
our death god,
It's just gonna make
Yeah.
her do
the
it
witch?
even more
Uh-huh.
because she's so stubborn.
Literally, it's so.
But then
weird
it's
to
just
me.
crazy to see how she's like that with Cassian, and not with Az. You know, like
Yeah.
she just kind of like brushes anything off with Az,
Mm-hmm.
which I get because they do have that weird tension.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe it's because she thinks Az only has eyes for her, and so she's like,
But then, towards the end of the book, or is it the next book? Maybe I don't say something. No, I feel like there were a couple moments in this book when Elaine's like starting to like
yeah,
feel a little better and do better,
Yeah.
and her and Az like have a couple little moments, and I'm like,
Mhm.
what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moore never says a word, and I guess maybe because she's like, oh, finally,
Thank God.
Az is on to
Yeah,
someone
leaving
else.
leaving me alone.
Yeah.
Right. Unless she just like wasn't noticing.
Right.
But Nesta and Cassian thus far have been like nothing.
Yeah.
Other than like the things that Cassian has said to her, which is literally him. He
Yeah.
has been the one that like from the first time they met, he was like, I will do all that I can to protect you. Like I am here. Like
Right.
even despite like the tension and her like sarcastic remarks, and he'll like throw them back at her, whatever. He was the one that was like way more open
Yeah.
with being like protective and caring, and she was like, get away from me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want you to train me. So now why is Moore being mean to Nesta?
Yeah.
I do not get the angle.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, we don't really get any sort of reprieve on that in this book, at least.
Yeah.
'Cause
Like,
it's not even like she's like because Moore's like the girl until
Yeah.
Feyre came along, and then Feyre became the girl.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then to bring Nesta in, do you think maybe she liked Nesta?
Maybe.
Now that I'm thinking about that, maybe she did. Because I'm thinking like maybe she's jealous of Cassian
Yeah.
and like taking it out on Nesta.
Nesta is beautiful. She is pretty hot. So
Wait, I kind of like that theory.
imagine.
Because I'm thinking like it doesn't add up if she's just mad that she's like
No.
talking to Cassian. I just
Yeah.
want to. I think that it's like a jealousy, like, you know, they ask you like, do you want to be her or do you want to be with her? And it's one of those that she's having a battle of like, oh, maybe I don't want to be her, maybe I want to be with her.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Oh, good
That's
theory.
a good
like that
theory,
one.
yeah. Oh my
Because
gosh.
like the little moments between Nesta and Cassian, like there's only a few more, right? Like
Right.
before the war at least, because she's all stressed whenever he like doesn't come back after the fight in Adriata.
Mhm.
Like he doesn't come back to the camp immediately, and he's
Mhm.
like off like talking to families and like informing them, right?
Yeah.
Because like that's what Cass does. And she like keeps asking about him, and then he shows up whenever they're getting ready to go to the meeting of the High Lords.
Okay.
He just like shows up like ready and willing, and she just is kind of looking at him, and
Doesn't she ask if he's hurt or something?
so that's later. So
Oh, okay.
here's the thing. I've obviously been going through the book again.
Mhm.
There are 2 attacks on Adriata before the war.
Oh,
So this was just the first attack, right?
Why don't I remember that?
Right. Okay. So
I finished this book like last
were
week.
was the second one just as boring as the first one?
no.
So we just don't remember the first one because it was boring.
Yeah. So the first one, they are in the Illyrian camp, right? And so then they go home and they're like, we have to have the meeting of the High Lords in 3 days.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
this has to happen way sooner. And then Nesta decides like, I want to go. Because whenever she was talking to Feyre, she was like, why did you fight for the people of Adriata? I don't understand. Feyre was like, because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
And so then Nesta like has this realization for herself of like, oh, people just do things because they're right.
Imagine.
Imagine. Like
I
literally
don't have to
imagine.
be a horrible person all the time.
Literally.
Wouldn't that be
What?
it's just gonna
Also, we're going to talk about the meeting, right?
Sure. I was
Okay.
just gonna give you the
Okay.
timeline real quick. But so here before they go to the meeting, she says, Cassian finally like speaks to her and he says, hello, Nesta. And she says, so you're alive. And he said, were you hoping otherwise? And she just kind of was like, you didn't come to, and then she like stops herself and doesn't say anything else. And everyone's just kind of like looking at her. And Moore is like giving eyes because she's got something up her butt.
Uh-huh.
But then he says, the next time, emissary, I'll come say hello. Because that's after Rhys like officially says like, Feyre was my emissary. She's my wife now.
Yeah.
Want to do it?
Yeah.
And she was like, the meeting will be my trial period, and I'm very expensive. And he says, I expect nothing less of an Archeron sister. And I was like, cute.
That's so cute.
But yeah, so then after the meeting of the High Lords, which we will talk about, but after the meeting of the High Lords, whenever they feel the wall come down,
That's right.
then Hybern attacks again. Because then I'm trying to remember.
Because they were trying to thin the walls, weren't they? Or thin the wall, I mean.
They were just trying to find like a
Find, like,
way
cracks
to
in
like
it.
to break it, and then they were trying to find out a way to keep them from doing to like kind of patch up the holes.
Because that's why
But then like all of a sudden it was down, and they were like, oh my gosh, we were too late.
Right.
Yeah, because
And then that's why they pushed the meeting up further, right?
So they pushed the meeting up further after the first attack on Adriata.
Okay.
And so then they have the meeting, and then it's after the meeting whenever Nesta starts feeling sick. Whenever they're talking the next day, because they all stayed
That's
at the
right.
Dawn
They
Court,
stayed the night. Yep.
and Nesta starts feeling sick, and they're like, "What's wrong with the sister?"
And then that's when the wall came down.
Yeah, and
Okay.
they were like,
I feel like the second attack on Adriata was that detailed?
"Hang on."
Is that
I'm
why I don't
finding it.
remember it? Because it wasn't like
So they're there, and Reese says we were too late, too slow. Hybern just destroyed the wall. And then that's when they go see Grayson.
Ugh,
Ew.
that guy.
That was tough. But that's after they recruit Bryaxis a second time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like messing up the timeline too, guys. I thought I had it. But there is there's another attack before the war, and that's when Nesta's like, "You're hurt, let me heal you," and she like starts taking care of him. But that's
right.
after all this other crap.
Yeah.
Got no
So-
notes on that?
Oh my gosh, I remember that. I probably do, but it's way down. I'm waiting for the meeting.
Yeah, I was about to say, so the meeting?
The meeting. Wow. The way that Tamlin just rolled in,
Oh, that guy.
He winnowed straight
winnowed
into the
straight
room.
in there,
I-
and the way that he did not RSVP.
Yeah.
Sir, they literally didn't have a chair. Literally, no, it's not Callias. Callias is Winter Court.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Is it Thiessen?
Decent, yeah.
Yeah, Thiessen like looks to one of his like people, and he was like, "I'll get the High Lord a chair."
Yeah.
Like they didn't even have
Yeah.
a chair for him. You didn't RSVP, dog.
And like
Right.
minus Baron, I feel like the vibes were pretty good.
Who brought all of his sons
Yeah, why?
and
Yeah.
his wife? Was this necessary?
No.
His wife, who's just like
Yeah.
the whole time. Like,
Poor thing, like a beaten dog.
Literally. But like the way that the vibes were chill. They were fine. Like people were talking and like they were starting to like Reese and like all his gang were like starting to like let the truth out a little bit of like,
Yeah.
hey, we're actually pretty decent
We're
people.
pretty chill.
Yeah. And then Tamlin just rolls up and decides to crash the party.
Yeah.
He said, "Surprise."
And he's not even there to talk about the war.
he's
And
there to complain about his woman being
He's
taken from him
literally.
and how
the-
she ruined his court.
Let me just say
Dude,
this
I-
line that
I know
I highlighted. It was so out of pocket when Tamlin said, I'm not gonna curse.
Yeah,
but
no, that's fine.
when you F her, have you ever noticed the little noise she makes right before she climaxes?
Oh my
who-
god.
The F do you think you are? To just walk up in here and
In
say
front of
that.
all of the High Lords.
Yeah.
And
Every
then-
court.
And then who speaks but Azrael? And
That
he says,
hurt.
"Be careful how you speak about my high lady."
I also did that.
Azrael's getting me.
Yeah.
Az in this book is getting me. I love
Oh
him.
He's so
my
good.
gosh.
I love him.
One moment, Azrael. Wait, no, that was something else. But yeah, watch how you speak to Highlight. I love Azrael so much. Also, when he said, Tamlin, why shouldn't you be his whore in return? I said I'm gonna forking lose it because one, we don't use that word around
Yeah.
race. We don't use that word. That's a
Mm-mm.
touchy subject, and you
Mm-mm.
should not go there.
He's like, "Oh, you
because-
spread your legs for her."
He did that for
Also, let's talk about what you did. Nothing.
literally. You did nothing.
You did nothing.
Reese went through this for what, 50 years, was it? 50 years with Amarantha to save his people. Not because he enjoyed it.
You know
And-
what Tamlin did for 50 years? Kill his friends. Send his
Yeah.
friends out
Sat
to
on
be
his
like,
butt.
"Can you just find me a girlfriend? Go die.
I want these masks off my face.
Nobody can see my pretty face."
Um,
You are the biggest whiner.
literally.
But the fact that too that he's literally complaining to all of these High Lords
Mhm.
about his awful love life.
His
Yeah.
love life.
And then he's
Like,
just
sir, we have things to talk
like
about.
he's complaining that Reese is this awful person, which half the people agree with because they don't know Reese like
Right.
that,
Mhm.
and the other like some of them are like, no, we know Reese. Like Reese is not like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And like at this point, with how much Tamlin has seen and how Farrah continues to go back, and she is the High Lady of the Night Court,
they
are
are
you
mates.
still so gullible to believe that she's being manipulated?
Yeah.
And
Like,
just like
You think that he would scent them, that he would
Right.
smell that they're mates. Like
Right.
it's not something that you can just fake. Like he would
Right.
smell it on them. It's not like he can fake that or manipulate her into
Like, she
doing
didn't
that.
destroy
So
your court
exhausting.
for him. She destroyed your court
Because
for
of
her.
you.
Because you were the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And she did it to you because
Yeah.
of her.
I forgot about this until I was
Mhm.
going back through it. And they said, the others who had been watching with disdain and amusement and boredom now turned to my mate. Brethren, and yet not. Tamlin was a high lord, as powerful as any of them, except for the one at my side. They forget sometimes how deep that well of power went, what manner of power Rhys bore. But as Rhysand ripped away Tamlin's ability to speak, they remembered.
That's right.
That was
And he
so
says,
funny.
Right.
he says, the gasping fish look is a good one for you, Tamlin.
Also, Jordan and I talked about this, like that line where like Feyre realizes like Rhys has the power to like obliterate them all with his hands in his pocket,
Yeah.
not even
Yeah.
blinking an eye, and the fact that he'd take the time to talk to them about like this is why you should fight with me and not
Yeah.
against me, or maybe he said it, Rhys said it. He was like, I have the power to destroy every single one of you in the blink of an eye right now, but I'm not.
That's one of the things whenever they're like in some of the war scenes that would kill me is that like Rhys would literally like stand on the bow of a ship and they would turn to red mist.
Yes.
Yes. I had goosebumps when I read that. I was
Sir,
like,
Yeah.
what are
you're
you?
joking.
I remember when I highlighted, I said, Reasoned is so scary, and I love it.
Like, he's insane.
Yeah.
Like, how did any of them have the gall to look him in the eye?
Yeah. Also, how humble for him to be able to, like, fight with them and
humble,
argue.
yeah.
And also, he gets scared of them
He's
sometimes.
like, I'll
Yeah.
wield some swords with you guys if you'll do it with us, okay?
Yeah.
Okay? Like,
Okay.
I'll like, do what you guys do
Yeah.
if you'll do it with us.
I
Uh-huh.
love that he's using it as like not as a bad guy. Like he's
No.
using it for the
yeah.
greater good. Like he's doing it to save his city and his land.
Mhm.
And the way they all are so convinced that he's this terrible guy. And I'm
Which,
like,
I mean,
what?
he did put that face on for 50
Yeah.
years.
Sure,
He's
but
just
here's
a
my
really
thing.
good actor.
Is you know the power that he holds and the things that you think he's done that are so bad, you would be missed.
Yeah.
If he was actually
Yeah.
this horrible person that you think he is,
Mhm.
and you think that he just hates you so much, and you're like, why are you asking me for help now? He could mist you, dog.
Mhm.
Mist.
Yeah.
Evaporated.
Yeah.
You've never existed.
Mhm.
It just irritates me.
Yeah.
I'm like, put respect where respect is due,
Yeah.
please.
Um,
So we had the meeting.
I also.
The meeting is not done yet.
One more thing.
I was really going back to the meeting.
I thought you were like, so that was the meeting, and I was like,
No,
whoa.
I still have to
like,
talk
when
about-
I said so the meeting. I know she had more
My
to say.
favorite
I know
part.
exactly what you're about to say.
This is my favorite part of the whole meeting.
I drew
Whenever.
hearts.
I'm gonna keep a tally for tonight of how many times Haley says that's
That's
my
my
favorite part.
Favorite
Oh
part
my
counter
goodness,
on the
my
screen.
So
So,
when Eris says something, I don't even remember.
to more.
Eris says something to Moore that was so unnecessary.
It was
and-
nasty.
One moment, Azrael was seated. The next, he blasted through Eris's shield with a flare of blue light and tackled him backward, wood shattering beneath them. I said, I'd pay stupid amounts of money to see this. To see Az choke, like, literally, like, I don't know if he was basically choking him. He was choking him,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And he was literally about to die. And the way that Rhys was like, Az, get up. Az, like, come on, like, Azrael, get up.
The comment that was the
Completely
final
ignored him.
blow that Eris made, I just saw it. He said, good to know that after 500 years you still dress like a slut. That's what Eris said. That wasn't even constructive, brother.
No.
It wasn't even like he was talking about their past and like all the crap that they've been. No. He said, good to know you're still a slut.
Mm-hmm. And
And
then...
Azrael said, okay.
But also, like, how was she dressed like a slut, though?
He's
She-
mad that she's hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
he
he's
literally-
mad that she's not interested in him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, because men can't handle that.
They absolutely hate it.
And so
Really hurts their ego.
I love that Azriel's just completely ignoring Reese, because that's not like him. Like, he doesn't just ignore, like, that's his High
No,
Lord. He will
yeah.
do what his High Lord says, but he's completely ignoring him. And then the way that Feyre just slowly walks up to him and goes, what did she say? Do you have it highlighted? I don't know why I didn't highlight it. When she's just like, come, Azriel. And then he immediately just turns, it says he
Azriel
turns
stopped.
his face.
As Azriel turned his face towards me, Eris gasped for air as the scarred hands loosened.
Like the way she was just like, come, Azriel.
then
And that was it.
And then she said, come sit beside me.
And he said, yes, ma'am.
The way that I love how Azriel shows his, like, obviously he respects Reese and he loves Reese because they're like brothers.
Yeah.
But he has some like
This
profound,
devotion.
like devotion to Feyre.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, she is High Lady,
Yeah.
and you do not mess with his High Lady.
Yeah.
I love it
That part
so much.
It's so good.
Oh,
So much.
I loved that part.
Two more.
Wait, what?
I'm confused. I'm still lost. I'm still thinking about Azriel. What?
You said it was your favorite
That's your
part
favorite
two
part.
more times.
I just love that part.
No, that's also one of my favorite parts.
So long.
Literally. Then another one I forgot about was when Baron starts going off on Reese being nasty.
Yep.
And he says, and now Rhysand wants to play hero. Amarantha's whore becomes Hybern's destroyer. But if it goes badly, will he get on his knees for Hybern? Or just spread his? And immediately, Feyre explodes fire, raging white-hot flame that blasted into Baron like a lance.
That.
And then he starts fighting her back. So then she's using her fire. So now our homeboy, which one is it?
Helion?
No, it's
Or-
Baron. It's
Oh,
Baron.
that's
It's
Baron. Yeah.
Baron is like, that's my power you're using against
Oh, that's
me.
right. That's right.
And
Because they
then-
didn't want him to know.
Yeah.
That's right.
So then he starts using his own power to like shield from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then she uses water to
Yeah.
start drowning him. And so then Tarquin's like, huh,
Mm-hmm.
That's
that one's
fine.
mine. Isn't that nifty?
Mm-hmm.
And then Reese goes on and he's like, he said, you've proved, he's so calmly, he says, you've proved your point, my love. And she doesn't stop. And he says, and she says, then I'll kill all of them. And he says, as interesting as an experiment that might be. And then he said, I love you. The words of that hateful bastard don't mean anything. He has nothing of joy in his life, nothing good. We do. I love you. And then she like calms down. And then Helion's like, I wondered where it went, that little bit, so small, like a fish missing a scale.
Mm-hmm.
Because now they are all like,
Yeah.
she took our powers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, as if you didn't willingly give it up?
That's
Yeah.
what killed me, is because Baron was
Literally.
like, that power belongs to me.
You gave it away, dog.
You gave it to her. Bye. That's what
Yeah.
I wrote in this book. Because they all start going off like, hey, that's mine. Hey, yeah.
You sound like Silas. My son. Mine. That's mine.
That's literally what they're like, hey, that was mine. You literally, you summoned it into your hands.
The tiniest little drop,
and
too.
you dropped it onto her.
Like, are you kidding? So greedy.
You gave
What
it to
else
her.
do you think was going to happen?
It was a present,
Yeah.
dog. It was a present.
It was
Because she literally saved your
an
ass.
essence of
Yeah.
your life given to her.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you think that none of your power would ever like get transferred over? Like
Yeah.
And then Tarquin
Mhm.
finally says, you saved us under the mountain. Losing a kernel of power seems a worthy payment. Which, like, thank God that someone's being reasonable. Honestly, didn't expect it from you.
No.
Because
Yeah.
you were just being a turd.
Yeah.
But, like, welcome back to the land of the living. Good to
Uh-huh.
have you.
Maybe Tamlin put it back in his place.
Maybe. Once he saw how Tamlin was acting, he was like, wait.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't
Wait,
listen
this
to
is
that
what
guy.
Claire was saying.
Maybe I shouldn't listen to that guy.
Maybe.
Do you have anything else on the
I don't think so.
meeting of the High Lords? Because my thing, okay, I have one more thing. At the very end of the meeting, they're like talking about, like your priorities seem severely out of order. Like, we need you guys to agree to fight. Like, this is what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And all the High Lords are just kind of sitting there like, but she took my power.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to fight with her. She took my toy. And then, literally, but then Vivian nods, chin high, and rose. I will fight with you. Cressida stood a heartbeat later, as will I. Both of them looked to the males in their court. Tarquin and Kilius rose, then Helion, smirking at me and Rhys, and finally Thesan and Tamlin. 6 out of 7, Rhys chuckled down the bond. Not bad, Cursebreaker, not bad at all. And I said, women.
Mm-hmm.
Women.
Gotta love them.
Okay, but I also just love Helion.
Me
I do
too.
love Helion. Well, we learned like way more about him right after that meeting, because
Right.
then they all decide to stay at the Dawn Court, and so they like go hang out and chit chat, and I'm like, I love him.
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel like he was like always on their side. He just likes to play devil's
He
advocate.
does,
Mhm.
because
And
then he
okay. Because whenever they were chilling in their like side of the house or whatever, and then Helion comes, and then Rhys is like, it's all right, he's chill.
Mhm.
And then Rhys was like, you put on quite a show back there, and Helion was like, yeah, like old habits die hard or whatever, because he plays like the same game
Yeah.
that Rhys
Yeah.
does, where he puts on like a front of like, I'm this like big baddie,
Mhm.
and
He
you're
was like,
gonna
you
respect
didn't
me.
tell me we were dropping the act.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
and then he's all chill and cool, and he's like, "Hey, I'm bi. You guys want to like?
Does
You guys want
is
to hang?"
anybody
He's
interested?
in on multiple.
Yeah.
He's like, anybody else want to
He's
join?
like, is anyone interested in coming back to my room?
Uh-huh.
I literally mean anyone.
Oh my gosh, and
Both
then-
of you?
And that's where we learned that he's freaking possibly Lucian's baby daddy.
Not possibly. 100%.
Yeah.
That man is
100%.
Lucian's father.
Yep.
And
That-
I was so mad. One, that Baron is Baron and took his mom like that.
Oh,
But it
And-
made me feel so much better that Lucian wasn't his father's
Me
son.
too. I was like, it makes so much
Yeah.
sense.
The way that he is so different from all of his brothers.
Yeah, even a little darker. Like that's what I
Yeah.
remember. Faye was like, that explains why he's like a little bit darker.
Although,
the way I had made so many comments about, like, I don't understand why this white ginger boy is, like, so tan. They keep talking about how
Yeah.
golden his skin is. I'm like, I know several gingers.
how has
they don't
nobody?
do that.
How did nobody like really catch on to that?
The fact that Feyre, whenever she like has the realization and she tells Rhys down the bond, and Rhys is like, "Holy shit, keep your face straight." That's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, are you telling me that no one else?
Well, they
would
also
piece this
depict him
together?
so dark, don't they, Helion?
Uh-huh.
He's
So
a
like
dark-
for
He
and
was a
his mom is
dark-skinned man.
white.
Also-
Ghastly.
White.
I'm a little pissed. Like, Helion seems a whole heck of a lot stronger than Baron. Why? And, like, I know there was, like, an affair going on,
Right.
and it would probably get messy.
Sure.
But, like, why did he not go in there and be like, hey, I love her, she loves me, bye? Like, why did that
because
not happen?
men love their property, and she is his property.
And, like, why
Ain't
would
that
she,
something?
I don't remember her name, but why would she just
they
willingly marry
never.
Baron
I don't know
like
that,
that?
they ever gave us her name.
I know that they roughly explained like why she did it, because like it was just like in her family like line or whatever.
I think they
Yeah.
just
That's-
call her Lady of the Autumn Court.
They do. Yeah.
And I think
no
they
respect
were
for her first name.
Yeah.
yeah, but like that's so sad. And like whenever like they were caught or like Baron found out, and then Helion and Lady of the Autumn Court stopped seeing each other, they said like that's when the light left her eyes. Like that's when she stopped being happy, and like I was like, that is so sad.
Not only for the fact that now she wasn't with the person she actually loved, but Baron got so much worse to
Yes.
her after that.
Yeah.
And was so terrible to Lucian. And that was her baby. Like, that's
Yeah.
why it explains so much why she loved him
Yeah.
clearly more than the others.
It probably makes more sense as to why he was exiled.
Yeah. And
Because
why
Baron had it out
yeah.
for him, and he wanted him out so that his son would become the next
Yeah.
High Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He didn't want Lucian to take the title.
Yeah.
Nasty, nasty, nasty. I
Yeah.
hate them. So then they take down the wall. Rats, you know.
Ah, nuts.
And so then that's when Feyre's like, I have to go back and talk to Braxis. And I think she takes Cassian with her. No, Amryn.
I was like, no, Cassian
Yeah.
won't go down.
Cassian-
He
He's
said,
too
no
skilled.
thanks.
He said, actually, that guy scares me.
there.
But no, that's when she goes to talk to Braxis the second time, and
Mhm.
she's like, hey, do you think maybe you'd like fight her more? And she's like, can I eat everyone? And she's like, everyone on Hybrid's side, only while the war's ongoing. But yeah, go off. And Brax is like, okay, what can I have? And she says, we'll offer you your freedom from this place in exchange for it. And Braxis says, this is my home. And Ferris said, then what is it you want in exchange? And they said, sunlight and moonlight, the stars. And Amryn said, a window high above.
How wholesome.
I love that, like, Amber just gets him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love her so much.
I love Amryn.
She's this ancient, like, spitfire of a
Monster.
woman.
She's a
Just-
monster. And she's the best. Guys, we're getting into the meat of the book now.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys anxious?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm anxious.
So much happens. So
Oh,
much stuff.
just like a little note.
Yeah.
Reese kept saying this throughout the whole book, which is another reason why I was getting extremely anxious. He kept saying things like this. Reese said softly, I wonder if we'll see it again.
Oh my
I
God,
said,
yeah.
don't freaking say that.
Every time they like had to leave Valeris for whatever
Uh-huh.
reason, he said it so many times.
It's like he
Yeah.
knew he was going to die. How dare he? How dare you do that?
Oh, so that's when they're like, hey, wonder if we could get like Prithian people, or not Prithian people, mortal people on our side.
Mhm.
So then they go back to Grayson's estate,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, maybe Elaine can talk to him, maybe this will be okay. And so they put the glamour on her, so she didn't look like Faye, and like it was this whole thing. And he was like, don't act like you're human. I know what you are. And they're like, what do you mean?
I'm also just
What are you
really glad
talking
that, like,
about?
he was, like, she was trying to help them.
Yeah.
She was. Elaine
Like,
was
she was
like,
actually giving them
because
some.
once they
Yeah.
started
wiggle
to
room.
understand her like weird little prophecies,
Mhm.
she truly like perked up. Like
Yeah.
like she got a little bit better. She was like, "Oh, I'm not crazy, and you guys don't think I'm crazy."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, Nesta, she's fine."
She's literally fine.
God.
She can just see the future.
But so then they go try to be like, "Hey, buddy, do you maybe want to fight for the Fae who you literally hate with every fiber of your being?"
Mm-hmm.
And then Jurian walks out and is like, "Probably not." I said, "I'm so tired of you being here. I miss when you were a ring.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so tired of it. You just keep popping up
Mm-hmm.
like the flu, and I'm just so tired of it." That. But
At
then,
least he was like good though.
right then he was like, he, just kidding. I'm with you guys, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude, you're giving me whiplash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're hurting my brain. You're giving me whiplash.
Which makes sense, but still.
It did. Like, that whole, like, plot, like, did genuinely
Right.
make sense to me. I get it. And that's when he was like, oh, and Tamlin went right back to Hybern after a little meeting and told him everything.
That made me so mad. That's when I texted you guys. I also put it in here. I said, please give me 5 minutes alone with Tamlin. I will whoop his hairy ass. Because I was so mad. I was like, you're going to go in and
She
be like,
gets all riled up. She said, I'm not cursing. You see?
I like that it's hairy,
I'm just reading my notes. So it doesn't count.
She's like, that's how I felt in the moment.
But I was so mad because I was like, you're gonna come to this meeting and be like, here are his notes, here's all his stuff, you can trust me. And then for him to run back, and then like in the end he was fine, and he like, it was fine.
Her eyes twitching got me.
But like in this moment, why would you do that?
You didn't even RSVP
You
the
didn't
meeting.
even RSVP.
And then you show up.
Complain
You
of the
call
whole
our
time.
high lady a whore.
Literally.
You act like a pain. And then you're like, JK, I'll totally be helpful. I'll stand with you. And so then he stands up, like it says, like he stood to say he would fight with them. And then he runs back and he's like, hello, my king. Guess what I learned?
And then later he says, Like-
that. He was like, hee, fly away. Go.
Get away.
Tamlin, you're worse than Jurian.
Make
I
up
got
your
Jurian
mind.
gave me whiplash. You give me whiplash, dog.
Yeah, you give me a headache.
Headache.
It's like Sarah could have just been like, oh, she doesn't want to deal with Tamlin anymore because she found Reese, her mate.
Yeah.
But no, she kept it going. She
Yeah.
gave us the short list of reasons why we hated Tamlin
Uh-huh.
in the beginning of Akamath, and now we're here in Akawar, and she just continued to add to the list. It does
Yeah.
not end.
Uh-huh.
And what kills me is that, like, I guess, like, it's a prop to SJM, right? She makes these characters so complex. Like,
Yeah.
so complex.
Yeah.
Nobody is just, like, take them at face value, right?
Right.
Mhm.
If you took any of them at face value, you would be completely wrong.
Right.
Because Tamlin comes off one way, and then seems like he's really another, and then starts acting this way, and then reverts back to this bad way. But then, like, I truly feel sometimes that, like, at the crux of Tamlin, he just is a man that's so confused
Yeah.
and so alone
Yeah.
and has no idea
Yeah.
what to do in any given moment.
Mhm.
Because I feel like Feyre gave him this, like, little bit of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, I'll just keep fighting. I'll fight tooth and nail. I'll do whatever I have to
Mhm.
have her.
Right.
And then, God forbid, she doesn't want him.
Yeah.
And now he's going to watch the world burn.
Mhm.
And so I think that Tamlin doesn't know where he stands on most things either.
Yeah.
I think Tamlin's just as confused as we are,
Yeah.
which, like, makes it a little more frustrating. But
Mhm.
I guess props to